What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into the channel. My name is Cole Mendenhall, and this is Formula CM. To figure out by now, today we're going to be doing a review over the 2019 Jeep Cherokee. The model we have here is a Latitude Plus, which isn't at the top of the range, isn't at the bottom of the range, it's just kind of in. So what is so different about the 2019 Cherokees over the 2018s? Well, we have a few significant changes, which I have to be honest, I would have never in a million years bought a 2018. And yet, here's the 2019 that I bought. So what was so significant with this model that I decided to buy one? Well, let's start with these beautiful headlights on both sides. Instead of having the weird kind of skinny running light with the light here, they redesigned the headlight in the front end, and we now have this beautiful LED headlight with what I like to call the gull wing running light strip that they've added there. Also, the whole front fascia has got a slight redesign. So it's slightly shorter here, gives it a much more aggressive, sporty look. And that just kind of incorporates all of this front end into a complete package. So now let's move on to the also redesigned rear end of the 2019 Cherokee. So if you guys recall, on the 2018s, the license plate was actually down here in the bumper. The rear tailgate looked much longer due to that. And also, this nice little backup camera that all the Cherokees have stuck out like a sore thumb on the 2018s due to the fact that it just had nothing here. It was just a camera that popped out. Also, if you notice, it has beautiful redesigned taillights. And then, of course, like any of the Cherokees, you have your nice little 4x4 badge here. You have your model signature here on this side. And that pretty much sums up the major differences that you have to the 2019 Cherokee over the 2018 on the exterior. So now, let's hop right into the interior of this 2019 Cherokee. So the first major feature on the interior of almost all the new Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram products has to be the wonderful Uconnect system. Now, of course, you have everything like your radio. You have AM, FM, Sirius XM, and all of those things, your traffic and weather. You have your media, which is where you can connect your phone via Bluetooth, USB, auxiliary, anything that you can imagine. You have your climate control, where you can operate whether you want it to be on your feet, on your face, how you want it, with a temperature, all of that kind of stuff. And if you have the upper level trims that have the heated seats and heated steering wheel, that's also where you have full control of features like that. Here on your app screen, you have full control of everything from your backup camera, of course, climate, media, radio, your settings, your compass, the phone that's connected via Bluetooth, and also just your general settings. So here we'll go into the phone. And right now it's just connected via general Bluetooth, so you can talk over the headset, listen into the car, and the sound quality is actually quite fantastic. But this car does, just like all the other Jeeps now, come equipped with Apple CarPlay. So when you plug it in here, in the USB port, to your phone, of course it'll pop up the CarPlay all on this screen where you have full access to your phone and everything else. Of course, here we have the compass. If you option for it, that's where your navigation would be, which would allow you to, of course, have all your navigation functions and features. And so now let's work our way a little bit down. You have your hazard, of course, here, just like in every other car. And then as you move down, you have your automatic start-stop control, which you can turn off and on. Traction control, you can turn off and off. Your mute button, your screen off button, your tune scroll button, your volume button, your general kind of other climate control options. And then as you continue to work your way down, of course, you have all of the plugins you could ever imagine. You also have your option here to select whether you want to be in auto mode, snow mode, sport, or sand and mud. On the trail-rated Trailhawk, it also has the options for rock climbing and modes of that nature. So but all of them, especially the 4x4s, come equipped with these different options. Of course, you have your gear shift lever here, wrapped in a nice leather with a nice dark chrome accent, and then you finish it off with your electronic parking brake right here. One notable thing to also mention here is the actual quality of the backup camera here. You have to admit, for a $30,000 car, the camera is impeccable. So, now what's it like to be driving one of these new Cherokees? And I have to say, I've been pleasantly surprised. The ride overall is smooth. It's quite nice. In auto mode, everything works well. The transmission is smooth. The 9-speed works fantastic. The gas mileage isn't bad at all. And then when you put it into sport mode, just like every other sport mode, your suspension gets a little stiffer. Gearing stays higher. Just everything overall tightens up a little bit. Now I have to say, the feel, I love this leather wrapped steering wheel. It's absolutely fantastic. And then of course the automatic start stop feature, all of those things. I haven't quite figured out that part of it. It likes to kick on at very random times when I'm at stoplights and things like that, but I think that could just be with the fact that here in Oklahoma it gets hot as hell. So 90 degrees, the car just wants to kick on is what I'm rolling with. Might be a flaw with the system, but I don't think so. Now these Cherokees also have a few options when it comes to motors. You have a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine, which makes 180 horsepower. You have a 2-liter turbocharged engine, which makes 270 horsepower. And you also have the V6, which makes 271 horsepower. Now this one has the 2.4 liter 180 horsepower engine, and I must say, if you have the option, definitely upgrade to one of the bigger engines. This one works fine and the gas mileage is great, but the overall get up, and if you really need to get going anywhere, the power is not there, to say the least. And especially with me coming from a Camaro previous to this, even though I only had the V6, it is a whole different ballgame. You have to be careful when you're trying to get into traffic. You have to really think of all the different things you're going to do and be prepared, because the power's just not there. You put your foot down and there's only so much that a car can move with 180 horsepower. So that would be what I would probably call the biggest flaw with that. And of course that's fixable with the upgraded engine. Also, the benefits to those upgraded engines are that they have a much higher towing capacity. And the 9-speed transmission is standard in all of these Jeeps, which I cannot complain about at all. It's smooth, it's fast, it's easy. Now, what are some of the things that drive me crazy about this car? And let's start with something, and I know it's very nitpicky, but when you kick this thing into manual mode, to upshift, you hit the gear lever down. And to downshift, you hit the gear lever up. Now that throws me off because that just seems completely backwards. I do not understand why upshifting is not up and why downshifting is not down. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. I also have to say that although Jeep did go in and make the tailgate significantly lighter, if you do have the option to get the automatic liftgate, I would definitely recommend it, because that liftgate is still heavier than hell. Also, another slightly nitpicky thing is I don't really like the placement of the window buttons. They're a little too far forward, and when you go to hit one and think you're rolling down the front windows, I always end up rolling down the back windows. And it's also annoying once that happens, because the back windows are also not automatic. So you accidentally have this in such a weird spot, you roll the back window down, and then you have to wait for them to roll all the way back up. So it's just a few minor nitpicky things that are just frustrating when it comes to the car. Now, I did option for the 4x4 package, of course, because it is a Jeep, so I am a firm believer that you have to have the 4x4 on it. And although we haven't done a whole lot of off-roading on it, we have done some general playing in some grass and on some rough terrain, and it seems to handle its own. It does just fine. We haven't had any issues with it. I would like it, and one of the future plans is to lift it up a little bit and put some bigger tires and wheels on it, and that would just give us a little more ground clearance, make it a little more playable and all that kind of thing. But overall, it seems to work absolutely fine. it's a great toy to have, and you can absolutely take it off-road and play with it if you so desire to. So, the Cherokee is a small SUV, so how about the spaciousness of this vehicle? How well does it work? And I have to admit, although I am not the biggest human being in the world, I'm only a measly 6 foot, it does seem to have plenty of space, good leg room, don't have any issues fitting. I've been in the back seat a handful of times, and it seems to give you plenty of room also. In the trunk, of course, it's not going to be the biggest area of any car in the world because it is a small SUV, but for most everyday things and the things that you would want to put back there on a consistent basis, there's no issues. You could pretty much fit anything you really wanted to back there. It would be great for traveling. You could fit your luggage and all of those kind of things back there, and of course, if you have a dog like I do, you could put his crate back there or anything like that. Throw him right back there to take with you wherever you want to go. So here is a bit of a perspective look at what all you have here. You have your controls here, which change everything on your screen there, whether you want your speedometer, vehicle info, fuel economy, trip info, all of those kind of things. Let's get back to the speedometer. Here you have your general Jeep logo, a nice little touch with the Since 1941 badge down there. Here you have your controls for calling. You move over here, and of course you have your basic cruise control settings. Of course, on the actual speedometer, you have it just like any other car. You have your RPMs, your gauge in the center, your temperature gauge, your fuel, which of course I am out of gas again. You also have your normal speedometer style, and then over here you have your lighting controls from the interior lighting to the exterior. You also have your mirror controls here, all your window controls, and of course your unlock and lock. That pretty much sums it up for this review of this 2019 Cherokee. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button down below. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more content coming your way.